All right.
It is time for your weekly breakdown on the latest in entertainment, sports, pop culture, and all things Milwaukee. This is Nothing But The Truth with Melanie Ricks. Now streaming on 1017 The Truth YouTube with the witty banter, latest trends on social media, and hottest celebrity topics, here is Melanie Ricks.
What's up, y'all? Hello. Welcome to Nothing But The Truth with Melanie Ricks. My name is Mel, in studio with producer extraordinaire at the Jason Smith on Instagram. Jason Smith in real life. Hi, Jay. How are you?
What's up, Mel? How are you doing today on this beautiful, beautiful next week?
Listen, I'm doing great. I'm channeling my inner Jason Smith right now because the sun was shining. And you know what? It was 38 degrees, but it felt like 60, I have to say.
I ain't gonna lie, Mel, these last few days it's been feeling pretty good outside.
It has. Mother Nature probably knew that we needed some good outdoor energy because of what we unfortunately were told in the media over the last 24, 48 hours about someone that, I'm just going to say it. Jason and I, we both hold him near and dear to our hearts. I'm talking about Jay-Z, a.k.a. Sean Carter. I don't know what to think, so we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. Accusations have been made, and let's be clear, they were semi-made before because of the company that he kept, Diddy, Sean Puff Daddy Diddy Combs, the company that he kept in the 90s and early 2000s. Really, they kind of kept company until fairly recently, until this stuff started coming out.
Jay-Z got quiet.
He got real quiet, but that was his boy for a minute. But there are now allegations, like actual real-life allegations, that Jay-Z essentially raped a 13-year-old girl, had sexual misconduct with a 13-year-old girl, sexually assaulted a 13-year-old child, and the lawsuit accuses him of raping said child at an awards after party. So the first thing that I want to say about this is I don't know if I believe it. I don't want to believe it. I really, really, really hope it's not true. But I am the type, Jason, who I do believe accusers usually, because I'd like to think someone wouldn't lie like that, especially that type of lie, because I do believe if anything you do that's dirty or wrong, it'll come back to bite you. Karma's real, so I would hope someone wouldn't lie about something like this, especially if it was a child. And I think children are very truthful. I do. I think that it's hard for kids to lie. At the age 13, I think you're old enough to understand the ramifications of you telling the truth. But at the same time, I think there's still a naivete because you're a child and you only know so much, and you've got this powerful man in front of you and you're almost afraid to tell the truth. So I'm looking at it both ways where, again, I don't want to believe it, but it's also hard to believe that a 13-year-old would make that up. But a woman who previously sued Sean Diddy Combs alleges that she was raped at an awards show after party in the year 2000 when she was only 13. And she amended the lawsuit this week on Sunday, yesterday to be exact, to include, because we're recording this on a Monday, she amended the lawsuit yesterday to include a new allegation that Jay-Z was also at the party and participated in the sexual assault. So she at first initially just accused Diddy of doing this, but now she added Jay-Z into the lawsuit. And of course, immediately he put out a statement saying that the allegations are idiotic, heinous in nature. And the statement was released by Rock Nation. It's a long statement. Before we get into it, what are your initial thoughts? What were you thinking? What were you feeling when this news first broke? Because I thought of you immediately when I got the news alert.
Mel, I was just on the radio, I think maybe Thursday, debating Dr. Ken about who's the greatest rapper of all time.
Oh, boy.
And you already know who I'm going hard behind Jay-Z.
I know you are.
I think he's the greatest rapper ever. He don't write. He in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and he don't even write.
Right.
And he a billionaire.
Right.
And he married Beyonce. This dude is just winning that life.
Right.
So I was definitely shocked. I was super shocked, and especially because when you sent it, then all my friends started sending it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, but I need to see the proof. I need to see the evidence. Obviously, I don't want to say that the accuser is wrong because we don't know.
We don't know.
It was 24 years ago.
Right.
So, if the evidence presents itself, however, stuff just seemed a little fishy with the attorney, because it seemed like the attorney that's going after Jay-Z has a personal vendetta against Jay-Z.
Why?
Because if you look on, and I'm gonna put this up too on the screen for people to see, because if you look at the tweets and what he's been putting on Instagram, he just been talking about how Jay-Z has done him wrong in the past and put out all of these things trying to shut down his law firm and stuff like that. So I'm starting to think that this is getting a little bit too personal between the attorney and Jay-Z. And Jay-Z got a good point when he said in the statement in which he released the other day, why are you not trying me criminally? Why aren't you trying to send me to prison? They trying to send Diddy to prison. 50 women trying to send Diddy to prison. Why aren't they pursuing Jay-Z to send him to prison instead of just filing civilly?
Right, for monetary gain. Well, what's interesting is Jay-Z revealed that to go with your point, he had anonymously sued the woman's lawyer. The lawyer's name is Tony Busby. And he anonymously, Jay-Z, this article says he anonymously sued the lawyer, Tony Busby, last month, alleging that he was trying to blackmail the rapper by threatening to make the rape allegation public if he didn't agree to a legal settlement. He said Busby sent a letter to his lawyer appearing to seek a settlement, but that the letter had the opposite effect on him. So to your point, this lawyer was already threatening that this exact thing would come out, which is this public statement saying that not only did Sean P. Diddy Combs rape this woman when she was 13, but Jay-Z also was there and may or may not have participated in the sexual assault. In this litigation, of course, it's a wave of all of the different sexual assault lawsuits that are right now against Sean P. Diddy Combs. But they're trying to say that Jay-Z was also in the mix. And what confuses me about that, in all honesty, is like, so are you saying that he, like, what do you mean by participated in the sexual assault? Because in my opinion, if it truly was the two of them gang raping her, I hate to say that, but like when it's more than one person, so gross. I'm sorry, y'all. But if it really were those two people who did this to that child, why wasn't he originally named? I don't get that.
Why was he added on afterwards? That's what I don't understand. Like, what do you mean you amended it and then added on? Did you add him on after you saw that he wasn't going to fall for the blackmail bait? After you saw that he wasn't about to give you the money? Right. So then you like, oh, matter of fact, let me just add Jay-Z because of, guilty by association. The internet already been trying to say that Jay-Z guilty because he been quiet and we know his dealings with Diddy in the past. So they like, man, where smoke is fire. So they like, if we throw this out there and we just put it out there in the public is go grab onto it. Because you saw right when it came out, social media exploded.
Right.
And Jay-Z don't even be on social media.
No.
And it exploded.
Right.
So I don't know, man. We gonna have to see. I'm hoping my boy Jay come out of this innocent.
Me too. I don't want this to be true. Jay-Z has a 12-year-old daughter named Blue Ivy Carter. She's a year younger than this minor was when Jay-Z and Diddy allegedly sexually assaulted her. So just imagine, obviously, and that's something else we're going to get into further. This happened in 2000. It's 24 years ago. Jay-Z is a different person. He's grown. He's evolved. And I'm not saying that excuses, like, to say that somebody was younger and dumb or whatever. That doesn't excuse this type of behavior, if this is true. I just want to be clear. But that being said, I wonder if his participation was the knowledge that he knew, that this was happening and didn't stop it, maybe. I don't know. But I'd like to think that Jay-Z would not exist in today's world because, Diddy's been one of the most powerful black men in the music industry, for decades. And even back then, Jay-Z, he was powerful, but, like, not on Diddy's level, I don't think. Not in 2000. He was still coming up. And Diddy, I feel like he was there. He was established by 2000. And so my point is, I almost wonder if there was any sort of participation on Jay's end. Maybe it was, again, the knowledge of the situation. He knew that it happened. He didn't literally physically participate, but he knew it happened, turned a blind eye, whatever it may be. And now, you fast forward 24 years and this 13-year-old is, this lady who was the 13-year-old is now throwing you into that lawsuit, but you've got a 12-year-old daughter yourself. I just can't help but wonder how he feels just seeing that now and maybe, it sparking his memory of, oh, yeah, that did happen with Diddy. Because I do believe Diddy did it. I'm sorry, I do. I believe Diddy did it. But, like, I just wonder, like, what that does for him as a father, hearing those accusations against him, knowing he has a 12-year-old baby girl himself who's basically the same age that this woman was when she was allegedly raped by Sean Diddy Combs and maybe Sean Carter, Jay-Z. I can't help but wonder how he feels about that.
See, I think that that's part of the reason why he was so quick to come out with a statement.
Yeah.
Because when you sent me that and you put it into perspective and you looking at your daughter and you like, oh man, these horrible atrocities was committed against somebody this like so if 12 or 13 years old are just so innocent they just don't know nothing.
They don't know.
It's so crazy.
I know.
So it's just I know that looking at his daughter, he was like, hold on. I got to get this message out quick.
Facts.
And I like it. Some people saying that this is proving he guilty, the fact that he had the message on standby.
Yeah.
He was waiting, but I don't think he had it on standby. Well, I mean, even if he did have it on standby, it made sense to have it on standby because he already had the blackmail letter. So he knew that it was a opportunity or a possibility that it would get out. I like that he came out with the letter right away because he shut it down right away. He made some good points in the letter. And I don't see nothing wrong with the letter. Now, if he committed the acts and proof come out, we got a whole lot of hip hop is just gonna be so different. Oh my goodness. How do we even grade and rate these rappers? Everything just gonna change.
Well, I think that the thing is, Jason, it almost reminds me of the reckoning that was the golden age of Hollywood. I love reading about old Hollywood. And like people got away with a lot of really egregious things, you know? And I think a lot of people say that the golden age of Hollywood died when Sharon Tate, who was a very famous actress, when she was murdered by the Charles Manson family. The Manson family. Sorry, I think that's what they're called. But, you know, Charles' children. But when Sharon Tate was 9 months pregnant and they broke into her home, not even broke because, unfortunately, back then, this was the 60s. It was very like, love is love and peace, and we leave our doors unlocked. And they went into her home and they murdered her at 9 months pregnant and smeared her blood on the door, and it said pig on it. Yeah, the people did this. And the Manson murders are awful. I recommend you guys read them, though, because it's very, very fascinating, because they do say that that's why golden age of Hollywood was essentially dismantled, because it got to that point where, you know, something's got to change. We can't continue on this way because people are going to continue to die. Not only that, you think about all of the people who died from overdoses and just all these things that were so easily accessible, which you still see here today, but not the same way you were seeing it back then. So my point is, I think that Jason is absolutely onto something. I think the industry is going to change a lot. I'm very nervous because I think that there's probably a little something in everybody, something wrong. I'm not saying they all physically did something, but whether they had knowledge of it or they hosted the party where it happened. And like, I just think there's ties everywhere. But I do want to read that statement that Jason was talking about from Jay-Z. For the record, before I read it, I do think he had it on standby if he was already being blackmailed, like you said. Of course he had it on standby because he knew this was probably going to happen. He anticipated it, you know. But the statement reads, quote, "My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. Exclamation point. I'm going to say every time there's an exclamation point because there's a lot of them. It made me want to expose you for the fraud that you are in a very, all caps, public fashion. So no, I will not give you, all caps, one red penny, exclamation point, exclamation point. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one, 2 exclamation points. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these type of theatrics, exclamation point. I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby, but I promise you, I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine, question mark, exclamation point. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. My heart and support goes out to the true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. Wow. One more paragraph. You have made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the project of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake physics, will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me that, if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids, would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. There's a lot there to unpack. First off, I got to tell you, Jason, the exclamation points, they bother me, and I don't know why.
Too many exclamation points, Mel.
Because it's a serious statement, and he's almost the one making it theatrical by doing that. Also, I mean, I didn't hate the reference to, what did he say? My heart support goes out to true victims in the world who have to watch their life story watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. What a bar. What does that even mean? What is an ambulance chaser?
What's an ambulance chaser?
Like, yeah. So there's a lot of things in here that seem a little over the top. Seems a little.
The all caps, like the one red penny and just all caps.
Like, I haven't heard that phrase in so long, one red penny. Like, I feel like a lot of people who are Gen Z reading that are like Googling, what's a red penny?
To this day, I don't know what a red penny is.
To be honest, I don't really either. I just know that phrase. Why is it red? But yeah, I don't know about it. I don't know about it, Jason, because normally for me, I feel that if you are not even a little bit guilty, you don't need to say anything. And I understand what you said earlier, though, where he is a public figure. He probably should address it. But, like, is he, I don't know. Is he adding more fuel to the fire? Is he making himself look guilty? I don't think he wrote this at all. This is not in Jay-Z's voice. Even a little bit. I'm actually surprised that he approved it because it's crazy. And then the last thing that bothers me about it, Jason, I look forward to showing you just how different I am. Again, what do you have to prove to this lawyer, as you called him in quotation marks? Like, who are you looking forward to showing that you're different? Your children? Your wife? Her mom, Tina Knowles, who liked one of the Instagram posts that said that you are being accused of this. And then, by the way, Miss Tina came out and said, I didn't like that. Girl, please. She said I was hacked. Girl, please.
I hate the I hacked excuse.
I love that. Everyone gets hacked all the time. I get hacked all the time. Are you kidding?
So you got hacked to like one post?
Come on. So somebody hacked you just so they could like that random little post? Because it didn't even come from anywhere like major. No offense to the whatever platform had it on, but like I saw it, I was like, I don't even know what that. Oh, ABC 7 Chicago.
Come on, she probably thought nobody was gonna see that.
Like, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude because shout out to ABC 7 in Chicago, but like, y'all really think we're checking for ABC 7 Chicago in Milwaukee or in other cities? Like, the Chicagoans are checking for y'all. Ain't nobody else, like, so the fact that she liked that, you're right. She probably thought nobody would see it because she's like, I don't know nobody in Chicago. Let me like this. Girl, please. We know you weren't hacked. It's cool. Just say it with your chest. But anyway, how do you feel about this letter? It makes me feel like he's guilty. I'm sorry, it does. I don't want him to be guilty. I don't. It's giving guilty. I'm sorry.
No, it is not. This is giving innocence until proven guilty. That's what it's giving. He had to release the letter. It's better to be on the forefront because if he would have sat in the background, the chatter already been going on. Right. The chatter would have just, oh my goodness, it would have amplified. It would have been so many more conspiracy theories would have been out because why isn't Jay-Z not? If Jay-Z didn't say nothing, everybody would have been saying, why is Jay-Z not saying nothing? Why is he quiet? Why he not trying to defend himself? It's like he's in a lose-lose situation. He don't say nothing. Why is he not saying nothing? He do say something. Oh, why is he saying something? What y'all want the man to do? I think he had to release the letter. He had to give his point of view out. He had to point out, he had to talk to the lawyer and show everybody, paint this narrative of the lawyer that he's a crooked, just coming scumbag, just coming for money. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to just paint the picture of like this lawyer. And I think he's doing a great job of it. And I do personally, like, he never attacked the accuser. Never once attacked the accuser. Only person he attacked was the lawyer because he wholeheartedly believes the lawyer is behind it. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying this lawyer has a personal vendetta against Jay-Z. This feel like Tim Busby or whatever his name is versus Jay-Z more so than the accuser versus Diddy and Jay-Z. You feel what I'm saying? This feels more personal than the actual crime that supposedly happened.
So what I want to know is, what on earth does Tony Busby have to do with Jay-Z? Like, did he steal your man? Sorry,
what happened?
Your woman? Sorry, let me stop.
I mean, we don't know about them, so we don't know. It could be.
That was a Freudian slip. I actually did not mean to say that, but hey. Okay, anyway, moving on. So my thing is, I agree. I agree with you that he did need to address it. Sir, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 paragraphs. 2 of those are just a single sentence. Actually, 3 of them are a single sentence, but they have a lot of commas and exclamation points. Don't forget those. But like, see, my thing is, I think he went overboard with, saying that he's innocent. I think he could have like literally tweeted from his own page, like, y'all capping. This is not true.
Should have kept it more concise. The intern who wrote that did too much.
And I look forward to showing you just how different I am. How you gonna show us, Jay? What you gonna do? You gonna build a time machine and invite us all for a ride and take us back to that night? Like, how do you show that you're different, sir? You're 50 something. Like, I'm sorry. What does that mean? Like, what's the action plan?
How are you different?
Thank you.
I love Jay.
I know you do.
You are Hollywood. At one point, the biggest rapper in the world, got the most #1 rap albums ever. You got the most Grammys for a male artist, rap artist ever. What do you mean you're different? You're one of them.
Like, are you looking forward to it because when they exonerate you and say that you're innocent, is that you being different? Like, honestly, what does that even mean? I just thought it was such a weird way to end the letter. And then I also kind of didn't like the fact that, like, he said, his only heartbreak is for his family. First off, what about the,
accuser?
He didn't say anything about that. I mean, like, he did say, like, it's not, wait, I don't even know. No. Oh, he said my heart and support goes out to the true victims. Oh, not even the, oh, Jay. Oh, okay. So you didn't want to, say that your heart breaks for the 13-year-old, but to everyone, all the victims in the world, your heart breaks for, not her specifically. She can kick rocks, but everybody else, my heart is breaking for you. But then he also said, like I said, his family. I hate that it went to a victim mentality of like, now we got to sit down with our kids because one of our kids is old enough to read about this, and shame, now their childhoods are going to be ruined. But sir, what about the fact that your daughter's 12 and is basically the same age as this victim? So can't you empathize in that way? Because, you could easily put your daughter in her shoes because your daughter is sitting right there in front of you and she's a beautiful 12-year-old. I'm sure you can easily picture her in that scenario, but you don't want to because you know what that scenario looked like, and it was disgusting. I do have a feeling he knew about it. Again, I hope he didn't participate, but there's so many giveaways in this letter, Jason. Like, ooh, I wish somebody would have.
Mel, it is no way he did not know about that. Like, Hollywood, I'm not in Hollywood, but I know it's a big club. I know they all know what's going on out there. It's not no big secret. This is all out in the open.
Yeah.
Like, everybody who, even from Hollywood, who moved to Hollywood, stay in Hollywood, they all say everybody know what's going on in Hollywood. Yeah. It's like the big elephant in the room that just nobody talk about.
Correct.
Everybody knew what was going on with Diddy.
Right.
Are you kidding me right now?
Facts.
Come on, get out of here with that.
No, I couldn't agree more. I think everybody knows, and I agree with you. There probably is some vendetta between the lawyer and Jay-Z, but again, like, what happened?
What happened? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I want to know who stole his house. Like, did you promise him a seat at the table and then he, walked it back? Like, I don't know. But I want to ask y'all, first off, do you believe it? But then second, let's say that these allegations are true. They come out to be true. There's proof and everything. Would you still listen to his music? Can you separate the art from the artist from the human? Reason why I ask is because I'm gonna call my family out. When we did our Black Friday party the day after Thanksgiving, what came on? Chocolate Factory came on. I was like, turn this off. I was like, I'm not listening. I refuse to listen to Robert Kelly. I'm not. I refuse. I wish that honestly, I'm still hoping that one day they're going to like dig a really deep hole. And I'm not talking about like a coffin hole. I'm talking like a straight up hole. And then they put him down there, and with like a feeding tube, they can only give him water and soup. That's what I'm hoping, like under the jail. I don't even think he deserves to have a bed, not even a cot. And I know those things are metal. He doesn't deserve to sleep on metal. He deserves to be in the dirt, in the ground. Not dead, though. They're going to make sure he can still breathe so he can be tortured until his last breath, because that's exactly what he did to all of the young men and women, by the way, during his, what do I want to call it? I'll call it his infamous On the Run tour.
I was
And
gonna say Reign of Terror.
Reign of Terror, On the Run, and that is also a Jay-Z dig because he did the On the Run tour with Beyonce. But I don't think Jay-Z did it. I hope he didn't. I know he knew something. I just feel it in my bones, and that's where I get mad at him because I hate that he, along with others, not just him, allowed this kind of stuff to happen. And I know you can only do so much when you're in the room with the most powerful man in the Black Hollywood, if you will. I'll call it that. Black Hollywood, they usually refer so more to like the acting side, but I think P. Diddy had it all on lock. And my question to y'all, can you separate their music from the human? Can you still listen? Because my mom, when I told her, I was like, turn the music off, she did it for me. But she was like, girl, little do you know, everybody's still listening to R. Kelly. I was like, well, shame on y'all, Gabby, because I don't listen to Robert Kelly. I refuse. I refuse to listen to him. I think it's going to be really tough for me to stop listening to Jay-Z. But that being said, I have found it surprisingly easy to stop listening to all Diddy, all Bad Boys records, all Danity Kane, like anybody that was, with him. If he say anything, if he coughs on a song, I'm not listening to it ever again. Like, I'm serious. But that being said, R. Kelly's behind a lot of great hits. You know that. But it's hard for me to even listen to Aaliyah. And I love Aaliyah. But knowing what he did to her, what Jay-Z may or may not have done to her, like all these things, it's hard for me to listen to, certain artists now because of what we know. So yeah, Jay, I want to know, can you keep listening to your favorite rapper if these allegations end up being proven true?
See, it's a tough one because I'm somebody, I don't listen to R. Kelly either. Like, I would never consciously go play. Now, if R. Kelly on, I probably won't say nothing.
Yeah.
But I would never pick up my phone and consciously put on R. Kelly just because every time I look at it or if I pick up my phone, go to Apple Music, type it in, and I see just the picture, I just go to Surviving R. Kelly, the documentaries, and just all the details, and it's just so hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to separate R. Kelly because of the amount. Oh my goodness. And for so long, was getting away with it for so long.
And
so I can
playing in our
understand why
faces.
that's hard. It's going to be tough for Jay-Z. And that's why I just pray that this is not true. Because Jay-Z is such a teacher. Like, if people, that's why I try to tell everybody to sit down and listen to Jay-Z. Because if you listen to his music, like he say, I'm trying to give you $1 million worth of game and not for $9.99.
Right.
Like, he giving you the keys to life on how to be a man, how to be a hustler, how to get money, how to move in a room full of vultures. He telling you all of this information.
Yes.
So it's going to be hard. I do believe. Now, I might be able to separate it I might be able to separate Jay-Z from Sean Carter.
Really?
I might be able to because I think Sean Carter is the person who did that stuff.
Oh.
It was the person behind the persona who did that stuff. Hopefully none of this is true.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find
I know you are.
Hopefully none of it's true at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I do, like P. Diddy, I cannot separate. It's so hard. Anytime I hear a Bad Boys or I hear something, it's like, oh my goodness, what was you just doing before or after that?
Right.
Goodness gracious. So I'm just hoping that this was an isolated incident that never happened, but I hope this is the only allegation that come out against Jay-Z.
Right.
And if it come out, never happened, nothing else come out, we are good, Jay.
Right.
We are good.
Oh, okay. That's a lot to unpack, Jason. So I actually can understand that viewpoint because R. Kelly literally played in our faces. Like, this man was writing down his dirty deeds.
This man, do you know when he wrote You Are Not Alone for Michael Jackson? Did I tell you what it was about? It was because one of his sex slaves the baby had died. Well, he did something to make the baby die. And he wrote that song to comfort her. Mike ain't know that. Mike thought it was about a girl. Mike was singing it to his wife, Lisa Marie Presley. But he was writing it to the slave who baby died due to something that R. Kelly did.
Oh, boy.
So it's like, oh, my goodness.
It's awful. And he's disgusting. This man married a 15-year-old and had her first album be called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. You're disgusting. He's so gross. I can't even.
Did you see the cover with him in the background
Of course
lurking?
I did. And as a child, I knew that was, like, I don't know. I can't explain it. But I do remember as a kid being like, that's weird. Why is her producer... Because I've known R. Kelly my whole entire life. I can't even watch Space Jam, by the way, because I Believe I Can Fly. I can't even watch that movie. That's how deep it goes for me. But, like, I don't know a world where R. Kelly music doesn't exist. I was born in 91. Like, I only know him as, like, he was the top for R&B. Like, on Saturday and Sundays, when my mom woke us up to clean, guess what was playing in the background? You feel me? So my point, though, I do remember even as a child being like, why is R. Kelly on the cover? This is not their album. This is her album. Like, I remember thinking that was weird. It didn't click that it was because he was banging a 15-year-old. and that the album was called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. But I do remember being like, is that R. Kelly? And then like when I like would, because I was just that type. Even as a child, like I would open up the little CD and like read the pamphlet, everything. I would want to know everything about it, and it would say produced by R. Kelly. Da 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 da. Like he was on every track. And I remember being like, so you put yourself on the cover of somebody else's album because you produced? That's so weird. But it's because he was trying to tell people like, yeah, that's me.
Hiding in plain sight.
That's me right there. Yeah, he was hiding in plain sight. It's disgusting. But Jason, then I want to ask you the question because I do understand you saying, okay, Sean Carter, because if you think about it, Sean Carter still was very much that, even in the 2000s. Because when did he start coming up? Mid-90s, would you say?
Yeah, like Reasonable Doubt dropped 1996. And
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think that he was the Jay-Z we know now. To be honest, not until really he met Beyonce. And that was, what, 03 when they did Crazy in Love? And I think that was the jump off for Jay-Z, the entrepreneur, the businessman, the executive, the owner. Like I think that's when it all started. Because I've said it before, I'll say it again. I do think that was a relationship out of convenience. I'm not saying that's all it is now. I'd like to believe they grew to love one another deeply, and hence why they had children and all these different endeavors together. But I think it was more of a business thing to begin with. And I think that was when Jay-Z started changing his mindset and who he could be, who he could affiliate with, what ideologies he would behold, excuse me. But the issue was he still was kicking it with people like Diddy. And I know that now that the light has been shown to all the things that were happening in the dark, I know that now guys are going to separate themselves, but he never chose to do that until he had to, So that's where I get a little bit bothered. And that's where I want to ask you, are we being like complicit in their actions by still enjoying their music? What else does he even do? Is Rockaware still a company? I'm serious.
No, I don't think Rockaware is, but he's still running Rock Nation. He's
Okay.
still running the NFL Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and he still got all this stuff going on.
Is Tidal still a thing? I'm just trying to think.
He actually sold Tidal.
He sold Tidal.
majority stake.
Okay, thank you. And then I know at one point he was a minority owner for the Nets.
And he sold that too.
Okay, interesting. Man, he's a smart businessman. Okay, so then do you think are we being too complicit by still supporting him ish?
I do think like supporting abusers, we are basically saying, well, it don't matter.
Right.
They gave us good art. Let's just enjoy that.
Right.
I do think we kind of are being complicit, and I can understand how the accuser will feel. The accuser might be mad, like, man, y'all, this is a monster, and y'all over here making this man richer.
Right.
Because no matter what, every time we click that button, we click that stream, we are paying them, we are making them richer, so we are helping them out.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, yeah, we are being complicit in it, and that sucks. That's why can't these artists just get to the top and not do nothing, not be on the freaky stuff? Why do they want to get to the top and be all freaky?
I think it's because they see others doing it, and therefore they're like, oh, okay, I'll do it next.
Oh, they
Okay.
like, oh, hey, listen, they can do it. Hey, hold on. Let's see what I
Right.
can get away with.
And I also think it's a power thing. I do. It's like when a dog humps another dog. Like people think that that's sexual. It's not always necessarily sexual. It's them establishing dominance. And I think that they do that. I think they have sex to establish dominance. I think that's really weird, but like I'm serious. And I really do think that's a kind of a normalized thing in Hollywood where it's like you got to check certain things off your list in order to make it to the top. And I don't know if it's a sign of respect. Like, it's kind of like when you get hazed if you're in a fraternity or sorority. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, you have to go through certain rituals or certain practices in order to become top dog.
That's what they call selling your soul. That's what they say a lot of times, you have to sell your soul.
Yep.
Now, Mel, do you think that most people come in innocent? Most people come in to Hollywood thinking, like Jay-Z coming in thinking stuff is good, and then they notice all that stuff and change because they see what's capable, they see what's possible? Or do you think a lot of them just been waiting for that time,
Right.
and they finally got the opportunity, so now they can show their true colors?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think it's really tough, though, to turn somebody into a true scumbag, only because, like, at some point, you just know what's right and what's wrong.
Gotta have some type of morals.
And so I do believe that most people, I mean, let's be really honest. A lot of people seek fame and fortune because they want power, like really. And that power, what does that mean? It means something different for every single individual, but it means they want to have the power to be able to do something that otherwise they probably wouldn't be able to. A normal civilian can't get away with the stuff celebrities get away with. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. So yeah, I think it's a mixture of both. Based on what I feel like I know about Sean Carter in his early years, like I've never heard of him doing anything like this as a child. Like, I don't know. I feel like you sometimes you hear things like little whisperings of people where they like did like just semi messed up things in their past where, you go down the line and then you hear about this major thing and it's like, oh, that kind of checks out because I heard that he used to do XYZ. I hate bringing up this example, but Jeffrey Dahmer, he used to literally like break squirrels' necks and skin them and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? And so like when the police were saying, oh, he's not doing anything wrong. Well, yeah, because he's a white man. But then when you finally have the proof and you find the bodies in his apartment, oh, now y'all want to dig up on him and check his history and you realize, oh, he's been doing this since he was 8. We probably should have arrested him sooner. Like my point, he had a past and I haven't really heard of anything in Jay-Z's past. Besides the fact that he used to sling rocks, and he literally told us that. He told us about his past. He never said, like the baby. I'll say this: he shot a man in Walmart, right? And it was out of self-defense, but that was part of what he used to become the baby in Hollywood. 50 Cent got shot 11 times. That was part of what he used to become who he is in Hollywood. Like I think guys use these certain things that happen in their past to make them look manly and tough and yeah, I'm one of them. If you can relate, listen to my music. And like I respect that, but Jay-Z's music was never about like assault. It was about him selling drugs to get by. It was about him trying to survive in a terrible Brooklyn neighborhood that now is beautiful and up and coming. But would it be that Brooklyn if it wasn't for a Jay-Z? Just saying. So I don't know. It's really hard for me to wonder, to like really think that he was born this way. I do think that he was an active participant, but I think it was more so the bystander effect, him not doing anything to stop it. And this lawyer knows that Jay-Z has dumb money, and that's why he's going after him. I think maybe there's some sort of proof or evidence, or the woman told him, Jay-Z was in the room, That doesn't mean he did anything, but he was in the room. And so I think that lawyer was trying to get him to pay up so, he could just take that money and continue to accuse Diddy of it. Because let's be honest, Diddy being accused by so many people, I don't know how much money they're going to get. I mean, he got a lot of money, but he's being accused of a lot of things by a lot of different people. He's going to have lawyer fees. I'm sure he's going to have to pay the government something because I'm sure he did something stupid with his money in the IRS. And he's got to pay these victims. They're only going to get so much, So now I'm wondering, is this lawyer trying to get more money by going for a second individual?
That's the question. That's what we're trying to figure out. Is this lawyer is he a crooked lawyer or is he a good lawyer? But something that you said that made me think New York. If this stuff were to come out, Jay-Z is the king of New York. Bro, they are synonymous, Jay-Z and New York.
Yeah.
If this were to come out, I don't think New York goes ever stop playing Jay-Z no matter what. So I don't even know if Jay-Z will get canceled. Well, he might get canceled around the world, but I can't see New York canceling Jay-Z for nothing unless he went on some Jeffrey Dahmer stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be tough for New York to not bump Jay-Z.
That's a good point. Dude, when we played the Brooklyn Nets actually yesterday, ironically, we won. And not this time, but the last time when because we played them earlier this season, it was like our third game of the season. We drove past Jay-Z's high school and they made a big deal out of it. So to your point, like Jay-Z, he's stamped all over, not just in Brooklyn, And you're right. I mean, him and Alicia Keys, and shout out to Lil Mama, did
Oh yeah. Went on stage.
I'm sorry. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll never forget that. Poor Lil Mama. Her career never was the same. But they did Empire State of Mind, and Jay-Z just has so many different songs about his love for New York. So that's a great point. I could definitely see people literally refusing to play his music. But I'd be curious to see what sports leagues do about that. Because like the NBA, they are pretty strict. And I know each team is different. But I know with us, like the Bucks, they won't play certain music. I don't even hear them play Chris Brown anymore. I'm not going to lie.
I don't hear Kanye.
I don't hear Kanye. I forgot I don't hear Ye. Never mind. No comment. I love Ye. I think Ye is crazy, but I think he's a Gemini too. So you got to take what you can get. Because he's never really hurt anybody.
He's never hurt anybody.
Yeah, he's just
people just
cuckoo.
think he's crazy.
He's
They think his
cuckoo.
mind is crazy.
But he does that on purpose. He's an artist. Okay. So then my last question for you. Can people change? Can they redeem themselves? And I think that goes along with what Jason was saying. Sean Carter did this, if he did it, allegedly. But Jay-Z, maybe the Jay-Z that we know now is not the same as before. However, let's say he did change. Let's say he was involved in some shape, way, or form, and now he's changed. What's the punishment? What is you know what I mean? Like, what happens here? Does he need to apologize to the victim? Because there was no apology. So, well, obviously he's saying he didn't do it, but like, I think it's going to look really bad if he put the statement out and then proof comes out that he knew or was complicit in some way. But do you think he can change? Like, do you think it's possible for us as a society to say, okay, we found the proof, he knew about this, but now, he's a different person. He's with Beyonce, he has kids, his morals are different. Do you think it's possible for us to do that and accept that? Or do we need to hold him accountable for his actions that, let's be honest, he did when he was a grown man? This was only 24 years ago. He was very much aware of what he was doing if he did anything. So what do you think about that?
Yes, people can change, obviously. Like, I think Jay-Z, especially after having a daughter or a couple daughters now, like, I'm pretty sure in his mind, he would not go back to what 25-year-old Jay-Z was doing.
No.
I'm even thinking that was even remotely close to okay, because it's in perspective now. He probably discussed it with himself.
Right.
Now, while people can change, I don't think we should forget. Like, if he got found guilty of this, the horror and the terror that he put the victim through, the family through, like, that girl is never going to be healed, or that girl is never going to be trauma-free. She going to always remember this. So I don't think that we can just forget it and just say, Jay-Z did it one time. Hey, like, raping a 13-year-old girl, that's not normal. That's not stealing a Kit Kat from the gas station. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's not something that's just easily forgettable. So I think that while, yes, he can change, he can be a brand new person, if it come out, he do somehow gotta pay, whether it is monetary, whether it is, I don't know, probation, in jail, something. If he were found to be guilty of this, he has to pay for whatever he did. And then after you pay your dues and you do what we never gonna forget. He always gonna have it stamped on him. So It's not like it's gonna go away. However, he'll be able to move freely through society if he did it and he paid the price for doing it.
Right. Yeah. It's just like, what could that price be?
It'll have to be either paying the victim, getting the victim right, him on probation, community service, jail, something. He will have to have some type of repercussion. Like, he can't just get away scot-free because he Jay-Z. I mean, you'll be a rapist at that point.
Yeah. Well, and I'm operating under the idea that perhaps he, wasn't necessarily like a literal participant. But the complaint, so I just want to read the complaint real quick. So the woman, she identified only by Jane Doe. She alleges, as I mentioned earlier, she was assaulted after she was driven to an MTV Video Music Awards after party in 2000. So this lawsuit, just to be clear, it was filed in October against Diddy. It was only just amended yesterday. So it took her a few months to amend it and include Sean Carter in it, Jay-Z. So according to the complaint, the 13-year-old arrived at the VMAs at Radio City Music Hall without a ticket, approaching limo drivers to gain access to the show or an after party. Or her parents, by the way.
How is she 13 years old just outside of a award show trying to get what?
That's real. I hate to say it, but that's real. She probably didn't look 13. You know what I mean? And this is not me slighting that baby girl because it's not about that. I'm talking about the parents here, just to be very clear. So the civil lawsuit says that a driver who claimed to work for Combs said that she fit, quote, what Diddy was looking for, gross, and invited her to an after party where she was asked to sign a non-disclosure agreement, of course. Lawsuit also outlines that Doe was offered a drink that made her feel woozy, lightheaded, and felt like she needed to lie down. Later, she was approached by Combs, who allegedly said, "You are ready to party." And that's according to the complaint. She alleges that she was then raped by both Sean Diddy Combs. Yes, Sean Puff Daddy Diddy Combs and Sean Jay-Z Carter, while an unnamed female celebrity watched. So they're saying there were 3 grown adults in that room, 2 of them being men that raped her, and the third being an unnamed celebrity, a woman, who was just simply sitting there and watching. It's just really, really, really difficult to understand. It's confusing. I don't understand why it took her so long to add Jay-Z to the lawsuit. I really don't get it. It is very suspicious that the lawyer or that Jay-Z knew about this potentially coming out, and the lawyer tried to get him to pay up so that they could hush up. And because he didn't, they now added him. Like, what's the game here? Why would you not just accuse them both at the same time?
This is so fishy. That's why it's just too convoluted. We got to see. That's why we got to just wait, let time play out, because it's just too much going on.
Yeah. I hate that both of their names are Sean, by the way.
No, I was thinking that the double Shines. That's crazy.
When I was saying it, I'm like, wait, Sean Diddy. I was like, oh yeah, his name is Sean too. I'm so used to just saying it. I don't normally put both of their first names together. It's weird. Ew, I don't like that. Anyway, so it is very confusing. It's complicated. I don't get it. I hope and pray that it's not true. Again, I do believe all victims the first time, unless, it is proven that they are lying. But I also believe in innocent until proven guilty. And this, I've never heard anything like this about Jay-Z. We've been hearing this about Diddy for so long. They play in our faces just like they did with R. Kelly. Family Guy has done sketches about it. There's something, I can't remember where else, but there was another TV show or something. But either way, there's always been these little things in the presses and the media. If you look at tabloids, I know a lot of people think tabloids are just foo-foo, but like they tell the truth a lot of the time. It's just people don't believe them because the truth is so egregious and it's ridiculous. And these celebrities are really good at silencing people. Notice that they brought up the NDA. They had a 13-year-old sign an NDA. But, Jason, and I'm not excusing any sort of sexual assault, I don't know if they knew she was 13. I'd like to believe they didn't. I don't think it makes it any better. I don't care if she was 13, if she was 18, if she was 68. Like, you rape somebody, you need to go to jail for it. And I hope you never see the light of day again, which I don't think Diddy will, to be honest. I hope you don't even get yard time. Play on your bed. Play on your metal frame. Let us know, though, what do you guys think about all of this? Do you think that Jay-Z did anything? Was he actually involved? Do you think that he's one of the two men that raped this young 13-year-old girl? Or do you think that he's just being blackmailed? And I mean, really, you could say that it's, what is it called? Distortion? Like they're like just trying to get something out of him. And maybe because they don't know how much they're going to get from Diddy, because again, there's so many accusers and so many different cases. I wonder if the lawyer's just doubling up to ensure that they get a hefty little payday. I don't know. I'm trying to see both sides of it. I do believe the victim. I find it very suspicious that she waited so long to add him to this lawsuit. So I'm sure we'll learn more. I wouldn't be surprised, Jason, if by the time this episode drops, we'll have so much more information. But let us know in the comments, what do you think about all of this? Tell us if you believe it. What did you think of his statement? I'm still a little I don't know. I'm so confused, Jason. I got a lot of like little question marks above my head. Jay-Z has exclamation marks above his head. I have question marks because I don't get it. Any final thoughts before we go?
Mel, I just pray and I hope my boy Jay get found innocent in all of this. I hope this is a scummy lawyer just trying to get at him. Yeah. Hope he come out. I hope he prevail. Yeah. And I hope all is right with the world.
Me too. I have one more question though. Do you think if it is true, Beyonce will stay with him?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Even if it's proven true?
Yeah, I can't see Beyonce leaving.
Really?
This will be the second strike, though, because she did say on Lemonade, no more second. You're not going to get another chance. But yeah, I can't see Beyonce leaving. I'll be shocked if Beyonce left.
Really? I was not expecting that response because they have little girls. And I know,
it's sick. But I can't see Beyonce leaving Jay-Z, divorcing Jay-Z.
Wow.
Like legally divorcing?
Yeah.
No.
Wow. Let us know what y'all think about that. Do you think Beyonce would stay with Jay-Z even if this is proven true? And let us know overall what you think about this case. It's absolutely wild. I'm sure that we'll have a lot of updates for you the next time we get to talk to y'all. But in the meantime and in between time, I hope everyone enjoyed this conversation. Can't wait to hear and see what you all think about it, what you think about this case, and where you think it's going to go from here. Shout out to @TheJasonSmith on Instagram, Jay in real life. Appreciate you. My name is Mel, and I really appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. We'll see you next week on Nothing But The Truth with Melanie Ricks. Until then, have a great rest of your week. Bye, y'all.